Hi class, my name is Adam Hayes, and just a quick introduction. I'm a marketing student here at WPC, graduating in December, and as you can tell from the title, I will be doing a strategic analysis on Sears. I strongly suggest you read the CNN article. It is short but thorough, and it'll help you understand my reasoning for the strategic analysis. I'm sure you've heard about Sears in the news. Recently, they've been selling a lot of stores, they've been going down, and on October 15th, they announced that they were going bankrupt. So the strategic analysis here is that once you go bankrupt, a company like that, you have a few choices. So their choices are they can go bankrupt and refinance and keep some stores open, keep their online presence. They can liquidate everything and go under, so completely get rid of all assets and they would no longer exist. Or they can keep certain assets and sell others during the bankruptcy and refinancing. So just a quick description to kind of help give some background for my reasoning on why I feel that they should, once bankruptcy, they should liquidate the Sears stores, and online they should liquidate Kmart online and stores, and then they should keep Kenmore appliances. So just a quick background, they were founded in 1886, and one of their first core competencies was their catalog. And also being from middle-class America. And those are interesting to note because we'll see how their competitors kind of adapted and their core competencies are very different. So they ran into trouble when Walmart and Home Depot, which kind of had core competencies of selling to middle-class Americans, not just through good products, like what was the core competency of Sears is that they had long-lasting good products. Is that they had good products too, but they offered them at a lower price. And that kind of proved to win out. Sears, instead of adapting, they actually started saving money by lowering advertising costs and closing stores. So in 2005, they added Kmart to diversify, and then they really lost out a lot when Amazon entered the market. Fast forward to today, they're filing for bankruptcy, and I'm just going to touch a little bit on why by using Toys R Us as an example, because it's very, very similar to the Sears story. So basically what happened with Toys R Us is they kept accumulating debt, and because they had all this debt, they weren't able to adapt their stores, and eventually the debt became too much. They recently filed for bankruptcy, I'm sure as you all know, and they decided to liquidate their assets because they were too far back. They didn't have the correct core competencies to succeed. And I think that's very similar with Sears. Sears accumulated too much debt and they simply couldn't pay it back anymore. That's why they filed for bankruptcy. So now that I've gone over the few options, and what I think is that Sears should file, once they file for bankruptcy, which they have, they should sell their Sears brand, their Kmart brand, and then keep the Kenmore appliances. So the reasoning for this is that we have to look at the assets. What does Sears have? So Sears has Sears the brand, they have the real estate, they have Kmart and their real estate, and they have Kenmore appliances. All those have an online presence as well. So if we first look at value, and we can value part of the VRIO model, we're going to look at Sears as the bottom level value. Do they offer any value? And to do this, we're going to use Porter's 5 forces. And Sears has no supplier power. In fact, suppliers like Whirlpool have pulled out and won't even supply at Sears anymore. They have zero supplier power, and they have zero buyer power because their core competencies are not to offer low prices. They stick with core competencies that we've seen haven't adapted well. So even judging at those two, they don't have any competitiveness in the market currently, not online and not in store. So it's smartest to liquidate. Once bankruptcy, liquidate all of those assets. It's not worth it. They don't have any power over the market anymore. And same with Kmart. When looking at the 5 forces, they have little supplier power and they have little buyer power, especially compared to the giants like Walmart and Amazon. They're just being eaten alive. My suggestion is liquidate both of those. However, they both have real estate. So what's interesting is you can liquidate the physical assets, and then there's the real estate asset, which is an interesting thing to look at. The real estate asset is actually worth a lot of money. So liquidating that could help to pay back those debts and get some money in return. I do think that they should keep some of that real estate, as investing in real estate, especially now with all the growing cities, is a huge thing, and it'll help them get money in the future. They also own Fenmore Appliances, which is a huge company for them. It's worth $400 million compared to Sears, ranked at $100 million. So Sears Holdings, which consists of all the companies I just talked about, Sears itself is worth not very much. It's worth $100 million. And we can see why, because it doesn't compete. Its competitors have completely outrun it. Its core competencies just don't fit with America anymore, and really the market. So Fenmore Appliances, what's interesting is that they kept the core competency of being a good, long-lasting product. And that's interesting because that core competency still works for the brand. People still want appliances that are long-lasting and work, and we've seen that in the valuation of $400 million. So my suggestion is they liquidate all assets to do with Kmart, and they liquidate all assets to do with Sears when they go through bankruptcy. Fenmore Appliances, I suggest they keep. They invest money in it, and they see if they can create a bigger online presence, because it's really shown to be successful. I'd love to hear your guys' opinion. Sears itself is dabbling with thinking about keeping refinancing and keeping some Sears stores open and some Kmart's open. We see that they've just done this in the past. This will not be successful. Even their profitable stores are shown to not be profitable in the future. I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on what you think Sears should do. And if you have any questions on why I made my strategic decision, I'd love to hear it. Thank you.